So we are back in Sundays for another Sunday Slam Fest, and things are about to get interesting as we head to the big time live event in the month of August. As plans continue to change, shift, and go in a different direction, but there's questions of who will challenge Angus McLeod for the world title. There's questions of what happens next with Mickey Starr and Hollywood Mike Kinsey. When will Hollywood return from his suspension after causing Mickey Starr to lose to Angus McLeod at Supreme Challenge? Will Brooklyn Punk ever lose the television championship? And how long can the Deadly Gamble remain World Tag Team Champions? There's a whole lot of questions, and we will answer some of them in this video, but other questions are going to be replacing the questions we answer, if that makes any sense. So instead of me continuing to talk, let's get to it. As we start off with an amazing opening matchup between Alex Pierce and Chris Marcus, as Alex Pierce gets the victory and sets himself back in the right direction after losing repeatedly to Brooklyn Punk. And speaking of Brooklyn Punk, expresses his opinion tonight on the match between Mascara de Rush and Brooklyn Punk, as Mascara de Rush does put everything on the line against Brooklyn Punk tonight, as he was willing to put his mask on the line for another opportunity at the World Television Championship, risking it all for the chance to be the one to defeat Brooklyn Punk for the World Television title. But Alex Pierce promises that he will save Angie, and he will also take the television championship from Brooklyn Punk. I also gotta take this away because Angie actually lost. Angie and Alex lost a match to Alex Pierce and Ann Stardust, which led to Angie becoming Beautiful Babbitt's assistant for 30 days due to the loss. So that is going to be the focus. That is now the focus for Alex Pierce, and why Mascara de Rush can step up and challenge for the TV belt instead of Alex Pierce, because Alex is focused on getting Angie free as opposed to the title. Speaking of the title, Athena retains the women's championship against Pepper Laverne, as Athena remains the women's champion and shows why she is unquestionably the most dominant female performer in Supreme. And yes, I will say that part of the reason is because of who she worked with for the better part of 2 years, that being her father and her husband being Sid. But now with Sid off in Japan, for those who might not be aware, Sid was actually stolen from me by Burning Hammer. And now Burning Hammer has paid him 6 figures to work on the pre-show, so that was a very logical thing for them to do. But now we move to the Supreme Connection, where they talk about it's the focus of the Flames, as the Flames mention Ace and Blackjack and wanting to be the ones to take the titles away from their rivals. And also that Brooklyn Punk will get another victory tonight against Mascara de Rush, adding another achievement to his arsenal of achievements in his growing trophy case, that he will be the one to unmask Mascara de Rush and remain world television champion. Mickey Starr interrupts Artie Goldstein's interview and has a message for for Artie to transmit to his representative, as Artie Goldstein, for those who may not be aware, is a lawyer by trade and is the representative for Hollywood Mike Kinsey, who is suspended after, like I said, screwing, might be more accurate to say, screwing Mickey Starr out of his title opportunity against Angus MacLeod. Mickey Starr's message to Hollywood is he will answer for costing him the title and screwing him at the Supreme Challenge. He will answer for it when he does return, because Mickey Starr will not forget what Hollywood did and what he took away from him. Because what he took away from him was an opportunity to become world champion again. This feud has been developing for the last couple of weeks. For those who may not be aware of the 1977 database, these two women are from Wyoming. I believe it's WSW, Wyoming State Wrestling, and basically Kimberly Evans alongside Ann Stardust, alongside Angie Lee, are among the women that I am trying to pull up popularity-wise to get them closer to being on the level of Athena. And the reason why I'm doing that is because right now Athena is well above everyone else. And the fact of the matter is, if she's well above everyone else, then frankly, we need to do something to get everybody else closer to her. And this is one of those ways that we're doing it, with the built-in rivalry of these two women being from Wyoming. So it was an easy rivalry to piece together. Speaking of a rivalry to piece together, Angus MacLeod is interrupted by Rick Rumble, and Rick Rumble basically says, "Look, I'm not here to start anything. I just have something to say. Angus, you aren't the same person I remember. I know we've gone our separate ways and done different things, but I go back to when, we've been here together in Supreme for a long time, and I've always looked at you as someone that maybe could match me morally, that could match me as a person, that could match me in the ring and out of the ring. But the fact of the matter is, you are not who I remember." And before Angus can say something, Aries interjects and says, That might be Rick, but look at him and look at you. Look at what he has around his waist and what he was able to achieve, because he cared more about that than what people thought of him. You care too much about what people think of you, and look at where you are. But look at where you could be. Had you had his idea, you spent all that time in the shadow of Mickey Starr for what? You could have joined my Titans And you could have been the world champion, just like Angus MacLeod. He chose business over morality. He chose personal achievement over morality, and if you would have done the same thing, you could have been him. But now I have the best, and that championship proves it. Not only did he achieve his dream, but I achieved my own because I got someone to the world title and I outsmarted Mickey Starr. So now walk to the back unless you want a problem. I'll leave you with this. Aries, you're right. You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted for the last 10 years. You finally outsmarted Mickey Starr. You finally have the world championship. But truth is, Aries, you didn't win the title. Angus did. Remember that. And now we shift over to another segment as the Star Show takes, The Star Show takes center stage as Gavin Stardale was given the keys to the city by Hollywood Mike Kinsey as the red carpet went away and entered the Star Show. But the Star Show's guests today make things personal as Dusty makes it clear to Athena. Athena, you may have your business with Katie, but the fact of the matter is, your business with me, you have no business with me. You have no business being involved in my business with my father. And if you want to get involved, I will promise you, stay out of my business or you will regret it. If you don't believe me, try. Try me. I'm not threatening you, Athena. I'm warning you. Stay out of my way. And now we move to the television championship match. And the longest match I've done that wasn't a main event match. And honestly, if I didn't have to put in a main event, I would have given a little bit more to the main event or to this match, but I had a lot going on the show. But either way, Brooklyn Punk retains the World Television Championship against Masquerade de Rush, which means Masquerade de Rush loses his mask and will unmask next week on Slamfest. Finally, after weeks and weeks and weeks of the Prodigy blaming Antonio Moretti for his shortcomings, blaming Antonio Moretti for holding him back, blaming Antonio Moretti for keeping him out of the spotlight, Antonio Moretti comes in and answers the call, wondering how he held him back, how he blames him for his shortcomings, and the Prodigy avoids the question by answering, you didn't not just me, you're not holding just me back, you're holding back Hollywood Mike Kinsey, just like Ken Cullen is trying to hold back Sam Keith because he can't let go of the fact that Sam is better off with Coach than he was with Clint Wayne and Ken Cullen. You're holding me back because just like I got empty promises every single step of the way I was promised by you, the matchmaker. Opportunity. But where is my opportunity? So he gets an opportunity, and he delivers. The prodigy delivers in, I mean, I can't imagine how bad the match would have done if they didn't have great chemistry, but that's just me. That was not supposed to be. I totally did not mean to involve Deacon Polo in this, even though Deacon Polo does have better um, entertainment abilities than Dynamite Dave. Dave Billington was supposed to be involved in this. I mean, that's the first time I've made a mistake like that in a while, it feels like. But either way, Ray Kingman opened the opportunity and Brett Wilson interrupted because. Let's just see. Um, and I will explain this. You know what? I was going to add something, but I don't want to. I'll explain it now. The reason why I didn't add to it is because Ray Kingman is actually in the midst of a feud with Madman McManus, as Madman McManus is one of the people vying for the United States Championship, and that's one of the reasons why I picked Brett Wilson to come in and wrestle Ray Kingman is because, well, Brett Wilson is on par with Madman McManus as far as being a similar in-ring competitor. He might not be on Madman's level, but he is a similar in-ring competitor to Madman McManus. And that's why I had Ray Kingman wrestle somebody who's similar to Madman, because it could give him a test run against somebody like that, or give him a taste of what to expect against Madman McManus. I did not expect much from this match, but either way, Stan Gibson gets a victory. All right. Stan gets a victory, setting himself up for an eventual contest against lightweight champion or shooting star champion Malcolm Rogue. And then we head to the main event. And the main event match is Kronos versus Mickey Star, which Kronos actually gets a victory against Mickey Star. The initial plan when I first started ironing things out was that Kronos and Mickey Star were supposed to wrestle right after right after the wrestling class. No, Spring Fever. Right after Spring Fever in April, when Angus beat Mickey Star for the belt, and Kronos was supposed to take out Mickey Star. That didn't happen. Instead, Mickey Star fought Hagar, and they jumped him, Kronos, Angus, and Hagar, and they took out Mickey Star for a couple weeks. But the reason why Mickey Star did not take his 2-month vacation that he was supposed to take was basically Kronos was not at that point where he could beat Mickey Star 3 months ago, like he is now, where he could beat Mickey Star. So that's why it happened 3 months ago. I mean, that's why it didn't happen 3 months ago and it happened now. Because it couldn't happen 3 months ago as popularity issues. But for the first time in quite a while, Mickey Star actually put someone over without question and without fail, and without me trying to, having to force him to put him over or anything like that. Either way, though, it's a huge win for Kronos, and he keeps his momentum going. And also, of course, as I mentioned the last time Mickey Star got in the ring with one of these guys, Kronos or Hagar, Mickey Star ended up getting taken out for a couple of weeks, but without wasting any time, Sam Strong ran out. But Sam Strong this time is quick to run to Mickey's side to fend off Big Bad and Dangerous, showing that it's not going to happen like last time, where Sam Strong and Sam Strong and Hollywood were not quick to run out, but Sam Strong did not let the same thing happen twice and was there to help his friend. As a solid end to the show. I know, had the main event gotten a little bit better, we probably would have gotten an 80, but either way, I can't be disappointed with a show like this. I can't be disappointed with a show like this, especially when the semi-main event gets us 15. So I think that we're also going to be heading in a different direction as far as timing is concerned. It's just the fact that I think I may want to try it with... Because 2 years ago, let me explain something. Was it 2 years ago? No, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, without my knowledge, Richard Eisen changed the product because I'm the booker of the company. I'm not the owner of the company. He changed the product without my knowledge, and I was surprised to find out that basically the product he changed to placed limitations on how long the matches could be. And, it took 2 years and experimentation on the part of my brother, aka my creative assistant, to find out that basically the way to get good ratings in this company because of the product was segments. It wasn't through matches. And that basically the segments would help boost up the matches instead of the matches boosting up the segments. Or the matches standing alone, whatever you want to call it. But the fact of the matter is, I was able to change back the product. So now we might be starting to see longer matches, which also, in turn, less money, because less segments, less talent, yada, yada, yada. I mean, I don't know if I maybe want to save those longer matches for pay-per-view. I don't know if I want to save those longer matches for maybe pay-per-view instead of putting them on the show. But, it's something I have to figure out now. And it is a part of the bigger picture, but also, basically, you could point to what's going to happen at the pay-per-view. Mickey Star and Sam Strong against Kronos and Hagar. Ray Kingman against Madman McManus. And, right now, that's about it. As I'm trying to piece together the rest of the show. I did want to point out one thing that did just pop into my head. I did want to point out one thing before I ended. And that is that 1982 is unlike any other year before it, because I do believe at this point Mickey Star has lost more matches this year than he has lost any other year. GLW? Yes. That Mickey Star has lost more this year than he has lost any other year combined. Actually, no. 77 he lost. Just as much. But if you look at his win-loss record year to year, year on year, he very sparingly loses because he's the top guy, and it honestly has to make sense for him to lose. It honestly has to make sense for him to lose, and excuse me, frankly, it has just never made sense for him to lose. But either way, guys, well, it's not that it's never made sense for him to lose. It hasn't frequently made sense for him to lose. But either way, though, I do. I will say I'm slowing up with the pacing of the bigger picture, and the bigger picture took a little bit more time to come together, as there are overarching stories that are coming to pass. But the more stories, like the big overarching story in '82 is the Flames against Deadly Gamble, and the Deadly Gamble coming back together after 3 years of being apart, winning the tag team titles, so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, but the fact of the matter is, I'm going to try and avoid saying the bigger picture because I feel like I say that too much. That I have ideas, it's just taken a little bit longer for those ideas to come together because I've been booking more this year than any other year based on feeling. Based on the feeling out process, because I was initially going to, honestly, by this point, I would say Malcolm Rogue was supposed to be that. There's no way, shape, or form that Brooklyn Park was supposed to be television champion, but still at this point, almost a year, pushing up on a year of him being television champion. Ray Kingman was supposed to be U.S. champion at this point. Athena, more than likely, was supposed to be world champion, women's champion. These two, I would say, would probably be the two that were up in the air the most. This one has changed the most, though. Because Angus was not supposed to be world champion at this point. He was supposed to drop the title back at Supreme Challenge to Hollywood Mike Kinsey. But not only did Mike Kinsey not win the title, he did not even get in the match and have a match at Supreme Challenge. And he ended up getting suspended for, like I said, interrupting the title match. And then it was supposed to be where Mickey Starr was going to win the title, but then I changed my mind and kept the belt on Angus. Initially, Ace and Blackjack. Actually, no. Initially, Ace and Blackjack were supposed to be the champions. Yeah, they were supposed to be the champions. But, again, he was not supposed to be the television champion. It's just, again, me booking based on feeling as opposed to spur of the moment like I used to. Either way, though, if you want more SWF and more Let's Plays with TEW, let me know down in the comment section below, or you can also show me by getting this view, getting the view counts where I notice them, getting the view count where I notice it, which I appreciate the recent success of the Let's Plays with TEW, that they've gone well above my expectations, and I thoroughly appreciate that. So I will continue to do it because even if planning is not as fine-tuned as it was, where you can see the bigger picture clearly, I'm still having just as much fun playing this season and this game as much as I used to when I was putting this up weekly on the channel. So, you don't have to worry about that. My excitement for TEW is just as much as it used to be. And it's just that my perception has changed, and how my planning, I'm basing it off of feeling more than just, this was the plan, I'm sticking with it. You know what I mean? Either way, though, that is it for me, and I'm done for the day, so I will see you in the next one.